Terrell here, creator of Evolution Movement. So I created Evolution Movement to connect people in the community with different small businesses and nonprofits. And I know it's holiday season coming up, so I wanted to bring together a lot of different small businesses in a series of different interviews with different entrepreneurs. So we're starting with our very first one, Daniel from Eltsuh clothing brand. What's good, Daniel?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
It's good. So, I mean, I'm a fan of your clothes. I mean, for a minute now. So tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then we'll get into like what you do and your clothes and everything.
Well, you guys already know my name is Daniel. I am creative, just an individual trying to express myself through what I do as far as like fashion and other creative projects that I have going on, but also like someone that is someone that wants to give back to the community, and I do that through my fashion as well. But I'm also someone that is just like I've been a servant to the community for over 10 years now as a case manager. But I also do this through my creative works as well. So
That's dope. So, and let people know like where you're from and everything. I mean,
uh, yeah. Brooklyn, New York. I'm Panamanian. I'm Panamanian first. But I was raised for the most part of my life in Brooklyn, New York.
that's dope. So, what made you get into like the clothing brand? Wanted to get into the clothing
When I think about it, I'm from Brooklyn. New York City is a big fashion place, and then just my love for fashion, specifically like Ralph Lauren was like one of my, everybody, if you're from Brooklyn,
brand.
Ralph Lauren. So
Yeah,
I
right.
just, I really got into it. High school was a fashion show. You either had it or you didn't, and you tried to get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Where
So
Where did you go to high school?
Millwall High School.
Okay, shout out to Midwood. Shout out to Midwood. Yeah. Fashion, especially high school. That's yeah. I mean, that was so. So, what made you? I mean, obviously, I mean, being from New York and obviously having your style and all the different fashion, and everything. What made you take like your inspirations or something that you've seen, whatever, and made you create this particular brand?
Um, I think it's a combination of everything. I come from a sports background as well, so I played basketball all through high school into college. So I think there's a part of my brand that's about motivation, but self motivation specifically.
Uh-huh.
And then there's another part of my brand that's like the creative part where I do take from my inspirations. Like, mostly I dress a lot more casual than I would say sporty, even though I come from a sporty background, but it's like a combination of both. So it's like a casual and sporty take. But I want to do something more modern. So I know nowadays creativity does play a major role in fashion.
Mm.
So I try to take items that are considered, like a staple in the preppy community, for example, rugby, and I elevate it to something with one of my new pieces, like my my COA knit rugby. I never saw a knit rugby before, so I was like, let me make one, and it came out nice. So
Yeah, definitely, it's dope. It's dope. Yeah, one thing that I liked about your style is, yeah, it is different. It makes you think. Like, I mean, you used to when I first met you, you had like the shirts with like different phrases like rap, verses or whatever, and they'll be backwards. So like it just made you think, which I really like. So.
yeah, for real. Well, now that let me implement more, talk a little bit more about exactly like what I do different, and I think that's what it is. It's like implementing the concept of messages that you read when you look in the mirror. So, fashion is a form of expression, and one of the things that I did was I started looking at myself for motivation. I started looking to myself to pick myself up, when things weren't going as well. And that's something that I knew I was doing, but I really started learning a little bit more about what I was actually doing, and I was like reflecting and things like that. And I want to basically make my fashion, make my designs, give that to other people so people can now use my fashion as a form of self motivation, self love, self awareness, etc.
That's dope. Yeah, yeah. I mean that makes you stand out from. I mean, I haven't seen any other brands do that in particular. I mean, that's what really made me draw into it. And then like the net rugby and all that. That's. I mean, I always loved like the rugby style. Polo used to have the polo rugbies, and those I always used to love those. So yeah, I mean, I do like that particular style. So I mean, how do you think that like obviously you said you grew up in Brooklyn and everything, and you're Panamanian. Do you think that combination has helped you like with your style and different things that you come out with?
Yeah, definitely. I think as a, I would say like just for the most part, just being from Brooklyn and being like within the culture of people who I want to say like we didn't have everything, right? We had to like figure out a way to get certain things. It made it there was an allure to like being able to get certain items, and I was just like intrigued by these designs that I at the time couldn't afford. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what inspires me now to like create certain designs, but make them a little bit more affordable, but at the same time like just create something that the next generation or someone else might be looking at it and being like, that's different, or that's like, something I never seen before. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
try to add that, to every design or most of the designs that I create.
Yeah. So, well, how old were you when you were like, all right, you had the idea of maybe I wanted to make a certain brand or a certain type of shirts, and when you're like, all right, I'm just gonna actually do it and start to sell it.
How old was I?
Yeah.
I was 25, 24 when I came up with the concept for this brand. But like, I was like, I want to say 18, 19 when I started thinking, when I started drawing designs. I started like just
Yeah.
drawing, things. And I decided to go for it once I started like reflecting and realizing, okay, what do I want to do in my life? Like, what legacy do I want to leave behind? And so that's when I started just going for it. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, and it just got me to where I'm at now. Just as far as like just the continuation of picking myself up, because I feel like that's just what happens over time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so yeah, that's where I'm at now.
So, I mean, I've seen you a lot in the last like year or so with different pop ups and everything. I mean, how do you think that, especially being in New York for like the last, I mean, COVID obviously has hit everyone, but how do you think like the scene, like the clothing scene has changed before COVID and after COVID, like with the pop ups and different things going on?
Hmm. Um, I think there's more pop-ups now than before.
Yeah, I kind of
I
feel that too.
actually, yeah, I actually did. I used to do an event called Lyrics and Hues. That guy right there was the logo, one of the main logos for the event, and the artist for that is Ty Credle. Shout out to Ty Credle. Um, I collaborated with him to do an event for Juneteenth specifically,
Mm.
and the reason why now I can say like there's way more events than there used to be was because when I did that, there weren't any like Juneteenth events. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
2014, 2015, and 2016. Those 3 years back to back, we did Lyrics and Hues for Juneteenth,
Mm.
and people were showing up. Like it was always a big event. But if I try to do a Juneteenth event now, it's going to be competing with like a
Yeah,
bunch of Juneteenth events just
yeah.
in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I like to ask that just because, I mean, I'm a fitness coach, so the fitness industry is just different. It's different now than it was before, and a lot of people that I speak with that have different, I mean, different jobs and different passions, whatever that they're into. It's just different. So I would just like to ask because it's like, I mean, for some people it's better. I mean, for fitness, some parts of it is better, some parts of it is worse. So it's not like it's a bad thing. And like for example, like in your case, it's I mean, it's more pop ups. And I agree. I mean, I've in the last like 2 summers I feel like I've been to way more pop ups than I did before. They're just where I mean, in just locations that you wouldn't think they would be in. There's a lot of different pop ups all over now. So I do think that's one good thing of COVID because it went from I guess a lot of people before was like try to get their own locations. So like it went from like brick and mortar, which very few people could do, but pop up you could have a lot of people, a lot of different business people into it, and also too just statistically, more people created businesses after COVID. It's just especially people of color, especially people of color, Black people. There's just more businesses that we've opened since COVID. So that's interesting. That's an interesting take. So I mean I've thought of it, but hearing it from someone that's actually like doing the pop ups, that's an interesting take.
Yeah, definitely.
So like when it comes to pop ups, do you have like anything coming up for like the holidays? Well, I'm pretty sure you do. So like any different things happening with the brand coming up for the holiday season?
Yeah, I'm working on a lot. I actually been a little MIA on my posting on social media, which is really bad. But at the same time, I know when I come back, it always does what it does. But yeah, I have a lot of events that I'm going to be a part. Well, it's 3 events, but I'm going to be vending from the last weekend in November up until the second to last weekend in December. So basically 5 straight weekends. I'm going to be vending starting at the Dumbo Loft Market, which is right near the Manhattan Bridge. Like there's an open there. Then I'm going to be at the Wallabout Wonderland, Brooklyn Navy Yard Market, which is it's more than a market. It's like an event, a big event that happens every year on the second and the third, and then every weekend after that, I'm gonna be at Atlantic Mall at a new market. Shout out to the Layout, who's been given a lot of opportunities to small Black businesses to have a place to sell where there's gonna be a good amount of traffic coming, and a lot of people who actually want to support the community. So yeah, shout out to the Layout. But yeah, they're doing the Atlantic market as well as I'm going to be a part of. I'm going to be a part with them at the at the Wallabout Wonderland at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. So yeah, definitely. And then also for the holidays, I'm gonna have my Letterman jacket, which has letters that come off. Um, so you get like 2 jackets in one. The letters are white, and the jacket is mostly black with some white. You get that jacket for $75 starting Black Friday, um, and I'm gonna have them in person as well at the markets that I'm gonna be vending. I'm also gonna be doing a build your own self-care wearables gift box where I'm gonna have individuals come pick different items, put it in a box, and it's either gonna be $40 or $45, where they're gonna get probably $100 worth of items in there.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. I mean, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things going down in the next like 3 or 4 weeks. That's part of the reason why I wanted to do this series of different interviews, because I mean I've gone to a lot of different pop ups. I met a lot of different like small businesses. I mean I've known you for a while now, but I mean just seeing everyone, I felt like there's times where I want to bring people together where it's hard to, especially at this time, but I feel like this is one thing that'll help with that. So let us know like where we can find like your website and Instagram and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so my website is hustle spelled backwards ny.com. And the same thing goes for my Instagram handle. So it's hustle spelled backwards ny. And same thing for TikTok and all my other social media handles. So that's where you can find me.
Right. So yeah, make sure you check his stuff out. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's about to be crazy. I already feel like it's about to be crazy. Every season, you always drop something. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen something like that. So I'm looking forward to that. Make sure you check them out. Check us out, Evolution Movement, on Instagram. You can find me at ITA Movement, and we're gonna have a bunch of different interviews. So check us out. Like that, we out of here.
All right, man.